Hi, it's Morgan and welcome to the Dove's Nest. In today's video, I'm sharing my back to school favorites. I do want to mention that this video is an open collaboration video. It was started by Rachel from Day to Day Joys, and a bunch of other YouTube moms are joining in on this collab. There's a playlist which I will be sure to link below. I was so excited when Rachel emailed me to participate in this collab video because I've followed her. I told her for probably about 2 years. I've been watching her homeschool videos, and I guess that was roughly around the same time that she was actually starting her channel. So I've been a longtime follower. I love what she does, and I kind of just fangirled a little bit. But this collaboration just sort of talks about our favorite supplies for back to school. Now, as many of you know, this is our first year homeschooling or taught schooling, and so I don't really have back to school favorites yet because I'm not sure what really works and what doesn't, or what's great or what's not, or if there's something that's just, you know, a bargain price that's awesome quality. I'm just not sure because we haven't navigated these waters before. But I've got some supplies here that I'm excited to use even if we haven't previously used them. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that we are big readers in my homeschool. I firmly believe that good readers make good writers. Today a reader, tomorrow a leader, and so we just love reading. Plus it's a fun way to learn about different topics without having to get into textbooks and worksheets and that sort of thing. So my first favorite is our library card. Now we have library cards for 3 different, I'm going to cover our exact city here, for 3 different libraries. What I do with our library card is I usually just go on the apps on my phone and I will search for a topic. If there's something specific that we are learning about in school on the week that I'm pulling books for, I just go in and do a search and then hold them at the library. And the people who work at the library actually go and pull all the books on the shelves for me, put them in a nice little cubby in the library entryway, and I just have to go check them in. It's awesome. So it's a really fun way if you're busy to just sort of get the job done. But this allows us to read as many books as we do. We have a fairly decent home library, a fairly decent sized home library, but most of our books we do get from the public library. So we love our library cards, and what a great resource that is. My second favorite is my laminator. Now I have 2 laminators. This one is probably my favorite. It's made from a company called Zoomyo. The reason why I like it is because of how wide it is. This is actually a 15-inch laminator, and so I don't have to just feed papers through, through the narrow kind of 8.5 by 11 standard paper size. I can do my file folder games, which I often do. I buy menu laminating sheets for restaurant menus, and I will feed my file folder games through my laminator. If we have any posters that are on the smaller side of posters, I will feed those through. I laminate everything. I love laminating. And if you've seen any of my weekly walkthrough videos, you've probably noticed that everything is laminated. So I love our laminator. Okay, for our next couple of favorites, I'm actually going to pull one of our little art cards. I've got one of these for each of my kids, and we just keep all of our sort of everyday supplies and art supplies in them. But my first favorite is actually these scissors. These are from the Dollar Spot. We've got probably 2 or 3 more pairs in my daughter's art cart, and the reason I love these is they are just child safety scissors, right? So if your child is a little bit more advanced in their fine motor skills, they can just use them like a pair of scissors. But they also have this little flappy do here, and what that does is if it's up, they work like regular scissors. But when it's down, it does something a little different, and it changes how the scissors work. Now, like I said, if your child is more advanced in their fine motor skills, they are using sort of the backs of their muscles, that extension muscle, to open and close the scissors. But when the flap is down, they're actually pressing the scissors closed. So it's more of a pincher grasp like this, and so it's really easy for younger kids who haven't quite developed their hand muscles to use these scissors, and my kids love them. We've tried a few other different types of scissors, and my son wasn't really into it, but once we got these and it was easier for him to cut, he cuts all the time. like all the time. So we actually have to hide the scissors because he will take them and go into our office and cut important documents or whatever he can find, or mail. I mean, he cuts everything. So we love these scissors. My next favorite is actually, these are Crayola, and these are dry erase crayons. Now, we love these because my kids, you know, they're not really into coloring yet, but I've heard that they should probably start with crayons because of the waxy texture. It provides some drag between the paper or whatever it is they're coloring on, and who just doesn't love crayons? And so I got these dry erase crayons because we use the dry erase envelopes that you can get at the Dollar Tree or at the Target Dollar Spot or even at your teacher resource supply center. We use those for everything. I've printed a ton of worksheets, especially our new math worksheets from the Moffat girls that I mentioned in our curriculum change video. So we are using all kinds of worksheets, and I don't plan on reprinting anything. I am putting so much work every week into printing, cutting, laminating, etc. And I'm kind of over it, and I don't ever want to do it again. And so when my daughter comes up through the rank, and if we have subsequent children, when they come up through the ranks, I want them to be able to use the same supplies. And so the dry erase crayons as well as those sheets make it so awesome. And going right along with that, my other favorite supply, these have been a favorite for probably a year and a half since we first got them, are the Color Wonder markers. As I mentioned, my son is just starting to get into coloring. He's 3.5, but my daughter, who's 19 months, is all about coloring. And her favorite thing is markers. She loves the tactile experience of pulling off the lid and putting it on. And if I just gave her a handful of markers, she would be totally fine sitting and just pulling the lid off of all the markers and putting it on. But then she takes off and she'll run around the house, and, you know, we find things on the refrigerator or on the walls or anywhere else. And so I love that the Color Wonder markers only show up on the Color Wonder paper. It saves me so much time cleaning. Something else I'm really excited about as far as back to school favorites is having structure and routine again. I'm one of those people who thrives on structure and routine, and even though it doesn't need to be so specific as 9 a.m. breakfast, 9:30 a.m. we say the pledge and prayer and circle time. You know, it doesn't need to be timed out because I've mentioned in other videos that we don't have set times that we do our homeschool. But I need to know as far as every day goes, you know, and day to day it changes, but I need to know here's what I need to do today and here's sort of the order I'm going to do it in. And sort of when we're on summer break or when we're having a weekend and it's kind of just, you know, lazy days or whatever we feel like doing, I noticed that I get sort of anxious and nothing gets done. My house becomes a disaster, and, you know, we don't do any learning, we don't do anything really. And so I'm really looking forward to these back to school structure and routines that we will be implementing in our day. And my last back to school favorite, I know, as a newbie homeschooler, it's so cliche, but it's just the excitement that my son has for our homeschool. He asks every day to do activities. He calls them activities, or he'll ask for tot school. Can we do tot school today? You know, I mean, even on the weekends. Can we do tot school today? Can we do tot school? So I'll have to pull out some old activities. But he's just so excited, not only to learn, because there's games and activities that, you know, are challenging his brain and he's learning things, but I think a lot of it too is just the quality time that he gets to spend with me. His baby sister's there, and you know, she participates where she can, but she might run off and play or go watch a cartoon or something. But I really think too, it's just that quality time that I get to have with my child that we both really crave and we look forward to. And I think that's why a lot of us homeschool, right? Even if it's not the main reason, if there's, you know, bullying or the curriculum that they're teaching in schools, or that you live too far away from a school system, you know, whatever it is, your reason, I think all of us moms, grandmas, dads, whoever it is that homeschools, I really think somewhere on the back burner, we know that time is short and time is precious, and we just crave that time together with our children. And so that is something that I am super excited for as far as a back to school supply, is just that supply of quality time. Anyway, I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, be sure to follow us along on our homeschooling journey by clicking that subscribe button. And again, I will be sure to link the playlist for all of the other moms in this collaboration below. And as always, I'll see you in my next video.